a written production of the Recreation Centers of Sun City Incorporated and is intended for the sole purpose of informing our Recreation Center members. Any duplication, copying, transmission, broadcast, or use, including electronic and social media, is strictly prohibited without the prior written consent from the Recreation Centers of Sun City Incorporated. Thank you for watching.
Good morning. I call this Board of Directors meeting to order and ask that you rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome to our January board meeting. I'm Kat Fimmel, President of the 2024 Board of Directors. This regular meeting of the Recreation Centers of Sun City Board of Directors is audio and video recorded by RCSC management and staff. There is no individual recording of this meeting by any person. Please put your electronic devices into the silent mode. I'll try to remember at the end to remind you to turn them back on. Our timekeeper for today is Director Collins. Please keep your comments to 3 minutes out of courtesy to those who would like to speak today. I'll ask General Manager Dee Luzansky to introduce the management staff.
But I want to first start with our new assistant for myself, Deborah Giles here. And go ahead, Kevin.
Kevin McCurdy, Director of Finance.
Mike Whipper, Director of Buildings and Infrastructure.
Brian Duthu, Director of Golf and Grounds.
Whoops. Mike Diermeyer, Director of Bowling and More.
Joe Lynn Higgins, Communications Coordinator.
Beth is Communications Manager.
Barry Maslow, Center's Co-Leader.
Angie Byrne, Center's Co-Leader.
Okay, and Marcia Johnson is, of course, our Corporate Executive Coordinator here on the stage with us.
Good morning.
Up in the booth is Doreen Rafferty. I also would like to recognize Alan Kleinhans, our audiovisual engineer, who's here on the floor with us. I also want to mention the incredible staff here at the Sundial that gets this room prepared for us for our meetings. And I would like to recognize if there are any members in the audience who are here for the first time. Wonderful, wonderful. That is worthy of applause. Welcome. The first item of business is the roll call vote to determine the quorum confirmation. Secretary Totten.
Thank you, President Fimmel. Director Collins.
Hello, everyone.
Treasurer Borski.
Morning.
Director Keiss.
Good morning.
Director Reckmeyer.
Morning. Thank you for coming.
Director Ruff.
Good morning.
Director Fast.
Good morning.
Vice President McAdam.
Good morning.
President Fimmel.
Good morning.
And I'm Jean Totten, and I'm here. Good morning. Madam President, we have a quorum.
Thank you. First up will be approval of the agenda. Are there any questions or comments on the agenda? Okay, there being no questions or comments, the agenda is approved. Approval of the minutes. These would be the minutes of the December 14, 2023 meeting, and they were posted. Are there any corrections or additions to the minutes? Okay, there being no corrections or additions to the minutes of the December 14, 2023 meeting are approved. Next up is the Treasurer's report. Treasurer Borski.
Treasury's report, January 25th, 2024. The balance of unrestricted funds as of December 31st, 2023 was $18.5 million, which includes a $2.5 million cash reserve. Restricted funds include Preservation and Improvement Fee, PIF, and the Capital Reserve Fund. As of December 31st, 2023, PIF had a balance of $33.1 million, and the Capital Reserve Fund had a balance of $5.6 million. The carry-forward balance, which is a component of the unrestricted funds balance, was $10.4 million as of December 31st, 2023. The corporation operated within its budget year-to-date 2023. Investment report, fourth quarter 2023. RCSC's investment policy, bylaws Article 13, is stringent in its requirements with a priority of investment objectives, which are placed in this order: safety, liquidity, and yield. As of December 30th, 2023, $4,253,215 cost basis of the $2.5 million unrestricted cash reserve and other unrestricted funds have been invested in various FDIC insured treasury bills and corporate bonds. In 2023, these investments, along with the unrestricted money market account, have produced interest income of $106,056, with management fees of $9,602 for a net income on unrestricted fund investments of $96,454. At the end of December 2023, $4,538,319 cost basis of the $5.6 million restricted capital reserve plus interest earned has been invested in various FDIC treasury bills, mutual funds, and corporate bonds. Year-to-date, these investments have produced interest income of $72,523 with management fees of $9,937 for a net income on restricted capital reserve investments of $62,586. At the end of the fourth quarter of 2023, $27,819,348 cost basis of the $33.1 million in the restricted Preservation and Improvement Fund has been invested in various FDIC insured treasury bills, mutual funds, and corporate bonds. Year-to-date, these investments have produced interest income of $277,040 with management fees of $50,495 for a net income on restricted fund investments of $226,545. Respectfully submitted, Anita Borski, Treasurer.
Thank you. Are there any questions on the Treasurer's report? Okay. There being no questions on the Treasurer's report, it will be filed for audit. Next is the management report. Are there any questions or comments on the management report?
Yes.
Secretary Totten.
I have, excuse me, I'm sorry. I have several, and I don't know if the general manager is answering for everyone but my first question is, under cardholder services, on the second paragraph, you list that the December online payments from 304 property owners was a certain amount of money. is it possible to report as well the number of owners and the dollar amount from people who came in person to pay? Could we include that in the report?
Director Totten, yes, we can report that going forward.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Under page 4, facilities projects, Viewpoint Lake. I'm sorry, but I don't understand what return of retention remaining to pay. Is that the money that is due back because we didn't spend it all?
No. Director Totten, thank you for the question. Retention in construction is you basically withhold, in our case, 10% of the work to the contractor. It's kind of a yeah, we're going to hold this until you finish the job and do good. So it's kind of a little bit of a hammer that the client has over the contractor. So they've completed the work, and so we have monies that we've withheld. Now it's time for us to return that money, and the project will be considered complete.
Okay, did I understand, I'm sorry, did I understand you just now to say that when we bid a project, a big one like this, the contractor gives us 10%? No.
No,
We
ma'am.
give them 10%?
No,
We
ma'am.
we hold 10%.
We withhold, they say they bill us for $1,000 on something. Well, we will pay them $900 in that particular instance. So we're holding on to $100, and at the end of the project, we give that money back.
Okay. Under centers, page 6, I don't know who wrote this, but I'd like to commend them for outlining a sample day at Sundial. I cannot imagine putting up and taking down tables. I would have nightmares about it. So bravo to the staff.
We do that all the time, every day, everywhere. A lot of practice.
Yes, for sure. Muscles on those staff members, I bet. Page 11. Under communication, website analytics. Again, I am sorry, but I don't know what is SEO efforts. I'm not familiar with that term. Could someone please give her a microphone?
So I can speak pretty loud. It's search.
You don't have one either.
I do have one.
Thank you.
Search engine optimization. It's a technique that you use to see how many people are looking at you and try to improve how many people are clicking.
Thank you. I also would like to know, how old is our website?
2016.
2016? Thank you. And is it hard to maintain? Is there anyone that can answer that?
I would say it's more difficult than newer ones.
Okay. And who does maintain that?
We do.
Well, who is we? Is there like is it the communication group?
Yes.
And how many people are in that group?
2.
2. Do we have any idea how we're progressing along with the new website?
Yes. The RFP is being written and it's going out for additional comments this week from internal, and I should have it near final draft sometime next week or the following week.
Thank you. Page 12, under Welcome Center. I was curious how we followed up with prospective visitors. Do we send a postcard? Do we call them? I can't hear.
Phone calls.
Phone call. Thank you. Do we keep trying until we get them?
Yes.
Thank you. The other question, do we ask the current members who come to the visitor center for information how long they've lived here?
Not at this time, but we're looking at improving what our surveys are.
I really wish she had a microphone. I'm hoping everyone can hear. I'd like to recommend we put some extra microphones in the budget, or perhaps the Players Club could let us borrow their little things that they wear on their lapels when they do a performance. I was impressed by that when I went. Okay, thank you, Beth.
No problem. Historically, we've only surveyed prospective residents, but obviously with the change in direction, we are looking at improving and enhancing those surveys. So
improving what?
The surveys, so that we are surveying current members on important data.
Okay, but we don't specifically ask, like if a person is a member and comes in, we don't ask them how long they've lived here. Are you new?
We do ask them, we just don't track that data properly at this time, and we can start doing that.
Okay. Now, let's see. Oh, you mentioned at the end of that paragraph at least 10 items that people have mentioned. Are those in any particular order?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do try to list them from the most popular items.
So the most popular item was swimming?
In this
particular group?
Month, yes.
And the least was pickleball?
Yes, and it ranges. Often it's walking or something along the lines.
Yes, but you usually do it in this fashion?
Yes, that's correct.
Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Are there any other questions or comments about the management report? Okay, then the management report will be accepted. Next is the Recreation Center update by the General Manager.
Good morning. As you can see, if you've been looking around Sun City or attending our board and committee meetings or just talking with your friends, there's a lot of changes underway here. We're focused on putting our new mission, vision, and values into practice. And there's a stack of them on the table at the back if you haven't seen them or you'd like to take one home with you. We're spending a lot of time and attention and resources where it makes sense in order to improve as much as possible, as fast as possible. And that's for the members and for the staff and for the corporation. We're hiring new staff at or much closer to market rates. We're improving the wages and the salaries of our current employees, and this is to reduce the turnover rate and increase satisfaction for everybody. Turnover is really expensive in terms of both dollars and results. We want results that translate into the high-quality service and the attractive amenities that is in our vision, allow our vision to not only take place but to be maintained. We had a great Discover Sun City right here last week. It was packed. Parking spaces were full. Both the morning and night was well attended. We listened to the past comments about having a different setup and having more chairs for people to sit down. We did away with the presentation so there wasn't the interruption. It seemed very well received. Great feedback on it, and next year we're considering adding a third hour to both the morning and the evening, just so you can spread out the load a little bit so it's not so packed in here. It's very difficult to even get to everything in a couple hours. There's so much going on here. Now, the home delivery of the new Sun City update, the Happy New Year Sun City edition, has been a little more challenging than I first anticipated. We did print like 30,000 plus of these and wanted to deliver them to everyone's home, but it's been very well received. The bigger print, the more information that's easier to find, people seem to just love it. And a lot of people have never seen it before. I have to say that the delivery aspect was more challenging since my paper route days delivering 300 Cleveland Plain dealers in my wagon. But my golf cart and myself are getting a lot of enjoyment and exercise, and it's been really great meeting my neighbors. I took the concentric circles in my neighborhood, and I'm about the same amount done as the whole effort. We're about 2/3 done with the home delivery, and we hope to have it finished by the end of the month. And the February Sun City update will be available at its normal places at all the pro shops and the rec centers and the snack bars. But I think this once a year special edition, if you will be a standard for at least for me, and some other changes coming to that as well. So I want to kind of conclude where I started speaking about change. And while change is a given, you know, we can't avoid it. It happens. It happens to our bodies. It happens to our families, our communities. The entire world is changing. Even the universe itself is never at rest. It's always changing. But none of these truths make it easy. Change can be tough to take. And as someone who's been brought here to make changes, it's sometimes tough to make happen. But I am leaning into it, and I'm trying to make sure that my goal of using logic and reason every day to make the best decisions I can, to make the best changes I can, big and small, will just continue to improve all of our lives here in Sun City. Thank you.
Thank you. My president's comments for today are, it is a new year and we have new opportunities ahead of us. Primary among these is the Mountain View project, and we have a motion today designed to move that project forward. By moving forward today, we will be stepping closer to putting the project into the hands of the architect engineer and ultimately into the hands of the construction contractor. We want, once again, to thank the Strategic Alternatives Committee for the work they did in providing these plans to us. We also thank the Long Range Planning Committee, who presented and developed the presentations for the town halls that describe this process. As a result of these efforts, the board was able to develop the elements that we'll be discussing here today. And we will be moving ourselves forward to finding this architect, engineer, and construction contractor. Please know that this is not the end of member involvement in this process. It is, in fact, just the beginning of a new process. Thank you. Do we have any announcements today?
I do.
Secretary Totten.
Thank you, President Fimmel. I just wanted everyone to know that we do have a new reporter working for The Independent covering us. I met him at the Showa meeting the other day, and I've seen a result already of increased support. Let's see. There was no Friends of the Library board meeting this month, as they had a lot of illness in their group. At the Showa Road, and I forgot the name of the committee, where I am a liaison, the posse commander is one of the speakers, and she gave a year-end update. I've been missing these types of items that in the Independence, so I believe he is going to report on that. There were many notable figures: 18,961 vacation watches, 267 calls to check up on a family member, and 9,264 gallons of gas used, which might have been the impetus for them to add 2 electric vehicles to their fleet. But the biggest item that caught my eye was the whopping 61,624 volunteer hours by their group. that is no small amount. Just as here, we cannot thank our volunteers enough. Thank you.
Other announcements? Treasurer Borski.
I was at the Sun City Community Action Network meeting, known as CAN, a couple of weeks ago, and they provide space for AARP to do income taxes. And they're gearing up. They will start on February 1st. I checked with them yesterday, and if you have any interest in having your federal or Arizona state taxes done free of charge, they do have a few openings yet the end of March, but they're filling up fast. So if you're interested, call them. Don't call them. You have to go in and pick up a packet to fill out and get your appointment set up. Thank you. Sun City CAN office is on Coggins, 102 Coggins, roughly. It's behind the nursing facility there.
Okay. Other announcements, Director Collins.
Thank you. I just wanted to let you know that several years ago, our community made a large financial investment in the purchasing of AED units. And I, at that time, was a regular member, and I came to the member exchange, and I asked the board to consider that. That was in 2015. In 2016, Director Kennedy and Director Hofer went forward with that, and we did get them. Recently, that investment took great importance to us. When a member experienced a medical issue on the softball field, the ball players' quick response grabbed their AED and others called 911. The others met and directed emergency vehicles. The AED delivered 3 shocks. As a result of these actions, the member's heart rate resumed. So it took 7 years for that investment to pay, but I think it did. Thank you.
Are there any other announcements? Okay. Next is consent agenda. This consent agenda is a name change from the Bell Tea Dance Club to the Bell Afternoon Dance Club. Is there a motion to approve this consent agenda?
I move to approve it.
Motion made by Director Ruff. Is there a second?
I second.
Second. I'm going to second by Connie Jo Rickmeyer. Okay. Okay.
Wasn't my voice. It was actually Director Keiss.
It's okay.
All right.
It was second.
Ladies and gentlemen, tell me who.
I don't care.
Director Keiss.
Okay.
Seconded by Director Keiss. Please, so noted. Okay. Is there any discussion by the directors?
Sounds like a great change in names.
Okay. With no comments, Secretary Totten, please take the roll.
Thank you. Treasurer Borski?
Yes.
Director Rickmeyer?
Yes.
Director Collins?
Yes.
Vice President McAdam?
Yes.
Director Ruff?
Yes.
Director Keiss?
Yes.
Director Fast?
Yes.
President Fimmel?
Yes.
And I vote yes. That would be a unanimous 9.
Unanimous vote for the consent agenda. It is approved. I don't show any committee recommendations. Are there any committee recommendations? Okay. I don't show any second readings. And so we're on to new business. Vice President McAdam, please read your motion.
I move to amend Board Policy 24, currently titled Preservation and Improvement Fee and Fund, to be renamed Preservation and Improvement Fee / Capital Improvement Fee, and to add verbiage on the capital improvement fee.
Is there a second? Seconded by Director Fast. Okay. Vice President McAdam, as maker of the motion, would you like to speak first?
Sure. So this process might seem like we're redoing something, but the difference is that the last time that we had this item before us, we were putting this into the board bylaws, and now we're simply bringing the board policy into compliance with the board bylaws. It's quite a lengthy document with a lot of yellow words and a lot of yellow underlining, and I don't intend to read that all to you, but I think that I'll highlight the important pieces of this at the end. And so under paragraph D, the statement is made, projects funded from the capital improvement fee must be approved by the board of directors and must be less than $300,000, which is the threshold, of course, for PIF expenditures. And under paragraph E, income from capital improvement fee investments will be retained in the capital improvement fee fund. Capital improvement fees, F, are not to be spent for normal operating or maintenance expenses. And G, a quarterly report will be submitted to the board detailing activity of capital improvement fee fund income and expenditures. A detailed list of capital improvement fee fund investments will be provided quarterly to the board.
Ms. Johnson.
Vice President McAdam, I just wanted to let you know, and everybody else, I did make a copy of that amendment since it was the entire policy, and it is on the back table if anybody has any interest.
Thank you. Ms. Johnson, please read the names of those members who signed up to speak on this item only.
Madam President, no one signed up to speak on this motion.
Thank you. Is there any discussion by the directors?
Yes.
Secretary Totten.
Because this is a relatively new item, I was wondering if it would be possible that instead of having quarterly reports, we could have a monthly report for 6 months to a year. Or is that a burden on the financial staff?
Director Totten, currently we update the capital project list with the spending to date on a monthly basis and post that updated capital project list to the website. If we want a different presentation of that information, I'm certainly wide open to suggestions on better ways to show that information. So if you want to sit down and discuss that, I'm more than...
Kevin, there's no way I'm going to make any suggestions to you. You are definitely the financial person. I was just wondering if...
I believe you're saying it's done monthly.
We update that capital project list with the spending to date against the budget. We update that monthly and post that to the web.
So it is already?
Yes.
Even though it says a quarterly report? Okay. Yeah. I just wanted to see it on a monthly basis if possible. So if it's already there, fine.
Thank you. Are there additional comments by the directors? Okay. Seeing none, Secretary Totten, please take the roll call vote.
Oops. Thank you, President Kim. Director Collins?
Yes.
Director Ruff?
Yes.
Well, we got two Director Collins here. Vice President McAdam?
Yes.
Just one moment. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's interesting. Director Keiss?
Yes.
What, did I forget to?
No, you didn't forget. I'm not on that list.
Okay,
Yeah, that's why it looks different.
That's why I'm counting, yes. Excuse us, there's a small error on our printed list, and one director isn't mentioned. So let me repeat that. Director Keiss, you said?
Yes.
Director Borski?
Yes.
Treasurer, excuse me, Director Fast?
Yes.
Director Rickmeyer?
Yes.
President Fimmel?
Yes.
And I vote yes.
Did you get Jim?
Yes. I got you, Jim, didn't
Yes,
I?
yeah.
Yes, okay.
Yes, okay.
I apologize for that. I should have read it ahead of time. That's a unanimous vote.
With the unanimous vote, the motion passes. Okay. The next item is a motion regarding the Mountain View project. We do have some presentations. I will begin with Director Ruff.
Good morning. I just wanted to touch a few points before we did the presentation. The board has made a decision to go forward with the elements for each part of the remodel and get architects and engineers to look at the details of what we want at Mountain View and the PAC. We don't know how much that will cost, but the process is one of identifying details so that the architect engineers can design the remodel. No details of the design are determined as yet. We need to get the design and plans to submit to the county for approval. We still won't know what it's really going to cost until the completed plans go to construction companies to bid. Nothing that we have planned is absolutely going to happen. All decisions depend on costs and input from everyone as we go through this process. I want you to be aware that there are no final decisions yet. This is the initial plan that we think is the best for Sun City. And one other point is whether the PAC is built at Lakeview or Mountain View, it will start at the same time. Either way. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have other presentations? Seeing
Yes.
none? I'm sorry?
I would just like to ask that if what a board member says up here, all of it could be included in the book. I don't seem to have a copy of what you just said, and I'd like to have it.
I will email it to you.
We'll assume responsibility for that because it was just reviewed and provided this morning. Any other directors? Director Kais, you're up.
Can you bring up the presentation, please? The current and previous boards have listened to inputs from the Strategic Alternatives Committee, SAC, member inputs and member exchanges in board meetings, member inputs from 4 town halls, and member inputs from the special session last week. We've also reviewed the proposals brought forth from the SAC and the initial plan from CCBG. From this, we've built elements that identify the buildings and activity spaces that we believe provide the best path forward to renovate and update Mountain View. We're presenting the elements to you today to get your feedback prior to giving them to the general manager. There are 2 presentations today, and we ask that you hold your comments until both presentations are complete. Slide. This is a very basic look at the steps necessary to get us to the start of construction. The board will provide the design elements to the RCSC staff, who will use the elements to elicit design proposals. During the design team proposal phase, and really all the following phases, there will be interaction with the staff, architects, engineers, and stakeholders, including the clubs that will use the facilities. The architect at this time will also go through the existing facilities and gather information that, along with our inputs, will be used to create design team proposals. It's important to note that no RCSC money will be spent until after the architect has been chosen, so asking for alternatives at this time will cost us no money. The staff will get the completed design team proposals, and the staff or the board will give a presentation of the proposals to the members, and the board will choose a design team to complete the project. The selected design team will go through another interactive process in much greater detail with all the stakeholders and all the facilities to translate their plan into a schematic design followed by construction documents. During this phase, there will be several discussions with the design team to get a plan that is best for Sun City. Again, we will show this to the members, and then the board will approve the plan. The last step is to send a request for proposal, or RFP, out to contractors and get bids back. The bid commission will approve the program contractor, and then construction will start. Please understand that this is a long process to go through before construction starts. As much as possible, we will keep you in the loop every step of the way. Slide, please. These are our priorities for the Mountain View project. You know that the Performing Arts Center is the first thing on our list, followed by the pool and outdoor spa, fitness building and entrance, miniature golf, expanding pickleball and investigating coverage of courts, horseshoes, and then other areas as the budget allows. Slide, please. This is the current view of Mountain View. Number 1 is the entrance area, 2 is the fitness center, 3 is the pool, 4 are lockers and dressing rooms, 5 is the horseshoes area. Excuse me, I can't read from here. Thank you. I should probably read my own slides, shouldn't I?
You got a little out of whack here.
No, I'm not.
Start over.
No, because the numbers are different there. 5 is the horseshoes area. 6 is the miniature golf course. 7 is the lawn bowling course. 8 are the current pickleball courts. 9 are the tennis courts. 10 is the auditorium. 11 is an unused thermal solar area, and 12 is a pickleball area, or the picnic area, excuse me. Slide, please. This slide shows our thoughts on the best path forward. 1 remains the entrance, 2 is the fitness area, 3 is still a pool, 4 is an outdoor spa, 5 are bathrooms and showers and lockers, 6 is horseshoes, 7 is mini golf, 8 is a pickleball area, 9 is the auditorium, 10 is the solar area, and 11 is the picnic area. Those areas, what happens with them is going to be TBD depending on the design plans. Slide, please. So let's look at each individual area. Area 1 is the primary entrance into the renovated complex. It will provide better security, help to ensure that only RCSC members and their guests use the facilities, and give us more accurate data on facility use. Number 2, the fitness area keeps the current building size, but the fitness area is expanded into the currently unusable spa and includes large windows overlooking the pool area. If money allows, this building can be expanded to provide more fitness space. The restrooms and shower areas in this building will also be upgraded. Slide. The pool will keep its current configuration, but will get an update with new plumbing and equipment. The deck area will also have a slip-resistant, rubberized surface and increased shade areas. ADA access to the pool will be improved with an ADA-compliant ramp replacing the current stairs and better access into the pool. Now, I received an email from a member stating that stairs might be more accessible for people with mobility limitations on the map. We don't know the answer to this. The design teams will. We will make sure that the pool area is accessible to people that have mobility limitations. The bathrooms and locker areas will also be renovated. An outdoor spa will be built somewhere on the desk with a shade structure, outdoor showers, and misters. Slide. The horseshoe area will get a refresh, and the miniature golf area will be updated, but 9 holes may be renovated to allow ADA access. Slide. The pickleball area will be expanded to meet the growing number of pickleball players coming into Sun City now and in the future. At the special session, the pickleball area was broken into the current pickleball courts, the tennis courts, and the lawn bowling area. We think a better way to approach this end of the complex is to say it is for pickleball use and to let the design teams tell us the best way to design the area and the appropriate number of courts. Some of the courts may have a roof or shade structure over them, but much of that will depend on what money is still available and the type of structure recommended. There will also be a waiting and social area and include some spectator seating for the outdoor courts. Slide. So the question becomes where to build a new PAC. We believe that Lakeview is the best location for the PAC. However, we heard the feedback from the special session and will ask the design teams to look at both Lakeview and Mountain View to help us decide what is the best location for Sun City. We think a smaller PAC than the one proposed in Plan M will be more cost-effective and that it should be around a 10,000 square foot facility with theater-style seating for 300 to 500, 350 people. It will include a lobby and be ADA compliant. It will also have dressing rooms, production storage, a modern light and sound system, and better acoustics. Slide. So what are the advantages of a Lakeview PAC? It's a more centralized location, an accessible location that is better for our community. The location is much more convenient for clubs, community events, meetings, movies, and many other events. One of the special session speakers noted that residents south of Grand don't like going up to Bell or Marinette areas. We can understand that. Residents north of Bell feel the same way about going south of Grand to Fairway and Mountain View. Lakeview is a centralized location like Lakeview will help to eliminate this problem. Lakeview is also a larger area than Mountain View with much more parking. The Lakeview area also has much better access to restaurants and other businesses. The current auditorium at Mountain View can be used during the renovation, so the current users won't be displaced. Now, Lakeview lawn bowling, shuffleboard, fishing, miniature golf, and the current rec center will be retained. Slide. So what are the advantages of a Mountain View PAC? Mountain View already has a site where the current auditorium is, and that is where much of the discussions so far, including Plan M, have put it. Now, it may be more cost-effective to renovate the existing structure instead of building a new facility, but we'll go to the design teams and the pros for that information. Additionally, no Lakeview activities will be removed as part of the renovation. Slide. We're excited to start moving forward with this project and finally get Mountain View the update it so badly needs. We will have discussions with you during every stage of the project, but please understand that it will take time to go through plans, revisions, and approvals before we can break ground. We want to move forward expeditiously, but must exercise caution to ensure we stay within budget and build a PAC and an updated rec center that best fits the needs of our community. Please hold your comments until after the next presentation is complete. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I think we're good. Mr. Director Kais, are you ready to make your motion?
I think Director Fast has a presentation also. Can you bring up the next presentation, please?
I thought I asked if there was a presentation. Okay, please.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Okay, yes, good morning. My name's Director Fast. I'm kind of the lone dissenter on this, and I think after you hear my words, you'll see that I have some concerns. It's not like I'm am disturbed by anything that's gone on. I just have concerns. So first, I want to thank my fellow directors for the opportunity to express concerns and a different point of view about plans just presented. I will keep this as short and to the point as possible. I hope everyone understands this is an incredibly difficult and complex decision-making process. All volunteer directors seek to do what is best for the members, and we all have or will spend countless hours doing what is best for the community we call home. There is no perfect answer. Someone will always be unhappy with some aspect of the process or outcome. While I have concerns about the plans and process, I have no doubts about the commitment of my fellow directors to do what is right and do it with a sense of urgency heretofore unseen in Sun City. Next slide, please. The principles listed on this slide are very important to me personally and are the biggest reason I am volunteering to be on the board. I view these as being foundational to effective self-governance. I hope most of you agree that the board, management, staff, and supporting committees have made great progress in adopting these principles. We are on the move again. Next slide, please. The point of this slide is the board felt under extreme pressure to do something, so it used the most efficient decision-making process available to present the majority proposal you heard today. This process severely limited the amount of member input and discussion, which, however, will occur over the next 25 days or so. It also precluded the use of experts. Finally, the process involved confidentiality, and that may be necessary, but in my mind, that's contrary to transparency. Nevertheless, the process delivered a completely new Mountain View recommendation in an incredibly short period of time. Next slide, please. My concerns with the proposal are the vagueness of the elements In our board discussions, strong views were expressed about making Sun City a national pickleball destination. I do not support using members' money to achieve this vision. I am confident all views will be fully shared with you over the coming weeks, and am glad we are reaching out to the members one last time for comments. Final slide, please. Given what I know today and the need for speed, these would be my minority recommendations. The Plan M pickleball elements, the tennis community has agreed that the existing tennis courts should be converted to outdoor pickleball courts, causing a 30% expansion in the number of courts. The conversion is extremely cheap, relatively speaking, and quick, and has been done by many communities around the country. The issue of current pickleball overcrowding, my friend who authored the utilization study advised me that there are sequential steps to address a perceived overcrowding issue caused by everyone wanting to play at once in the morning. The first step would be to implement a reservation system, unpopular as they are. Other 55-plus communities use reservation systems for pickleball. If after a suitable period it is documented members cannot get reservations to play on the day they want to play, Sun City should add outdoor pickleball courts that are relatively inexpensive and quick to implement. If I could clarify this, that means that we would still convert the Mountain View courts as described in this plan. The other thing is, Plan M, if I were forced to vote today, I would endorse it because it renovates the entire Mountain View site and was professionally developed. We have high confidence it can be implemented within the budget we have. The proposal presented today and the other proposals developed by the SAC have too many, we will figure that out later, elements for me to have a high degree of confidence in them. Clearly, even with Plan M, the so-called program developing specific designs would evolve as the process progresses. Finally, I would highly recommend we accelerate our 5-year plan by hiring expert advisors. Over the next 25 days, you will be asked to provide input. As the saying goes, please speak now or forever hold your peace. The board must decide soon. Thank you, and God bless.
Thank you. Okay. I'll ask again, are there any other presentations? Director Keiss, please read your motion.
I move to approve the Mountain View Recreation Center renovation elements developed by the Board of Directors and to direct the general manager to use the elements to seek bids to renovate the recreation center. And actually, Madam President, I would like to amend the motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Director Ruff. Director Keiss, as maker of the motion, do you wish to speak first?
I'm sorry. He wanted to amend the
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I mishear? You are?
Yes, I would like to amend the motion.
You would like to amend the motion?
I would, yes.
Please proceed.
I would like to amend the motion to say, I move to approve the Mountain View Recreation Center and Performing Arts Center elements developed by the Board of Directors and to direct the general manager to use the elements to seek bids to renovate the recreation center and to build or renovate a performing arts center. I don't think the current motion includes all the flexibility that we would like to make sure that we get the best solution for Sun City.
Okay. Is there a second to the amendment? Did I hear Treasurer Borski first?
Could
Yes?
you repeat the motion?
Certainly.
Excuse me, I thought you were finished.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Was there a second to the motion? Did I hear Treasurer Borski? Okay. The amendment has been seconded. Would you please repeat the amendment?
I move to approve the Mountain View Recreation Center and Performing Arts Center elements developed by the Board of Directors and to direct the general manager to use the elements to seek bids to renovate the recreation center and to build or renovate a performing arts center.
Thank you. Is there any discussion on the amendment? Director Fast?
Yes, Director Keiss, I commend you to make a make a complete motion. I could infer that from your presentation, but having it in the motion is certainly helpful.
Is there any other discussion?
Madam President, I agree with that change.
Thank you. Hearing no other comments, Secretary Totten, would you please take the roll on the approval of the amendment, or actually the revised motion? The motion has been changed.
I realize that.
This is for me? As soon as we have a motion.
Director Rickmeyer,
Yes.
Director Keiss,
Yes.
Director Collins,
Yes.
Vice President McAdam,
Yes.
Director Ruff,
Yes.
Director Fast,
No.
Treasurer Borski,
Yes.
President Fimmel,
Yes.
and I vote yes. It would be 8 yes, 1 no.
With a vote of 8-1, the motion is amended. Director Keiss, would you like to speak to your motion?
As I said in my presentation, we need to find the best solution for Sun City, for all of our residents. The only way we can do that is to go out to the design teams and get information back from professionals on how best to do this, along with inputs from all of our stakeholders. That's the only way we're going to get a good decision for all of us. So I think that moving forward, as discussed in the presentation and the elements mentioned, provides us the best ability to find a plan that is good for all of us.
Thank you. Ms. Johnson, please read the names of the members who have signed up to speak on this motion only.
Tom Swenson.
President Fimmel and Directors 135906, in case someone wants my number. I'm in a quandary because our board came up with a response unanimously to what we understood as your proposal, your motion, and I feel obligated to present that, although with the amendments and with the discussion today, feels dramatically different from what we were responding to. We had understood that you had made a final decision to build the PAC at Lakeview. And it was based on that we made the following, and I'll summarize our response. We applauded that decision because it moved things forward and allowed us to have a place to entertain our community going forward until the new building is built. However, we have some caveats, and one was that on the design for a facility at Lakeview, we would hope you would revisit the need for flies, to have the ability to drop scenery down. The alternative is to build extremely larger wings. So you're going to have a cost either way. We have to either roll sets in or we're going to drop them down. And now that we're at Lakeview, I think we should revisit the need for flies. Secondly, the size. There's a lot of things you can add later to a design. The number of seats really isn't one of them. So I would build for the future. I would build for the anticipated needs of our community. We have always had 350 upwards and plus for some of our performance of musicals in the past. And as we build back our club, which is up some 30% in membership, we anticipate doing musicals and larger productions again. plus other uses from other clubs, they've said we can't really use that facility as it gets smaller and smaller and smaller. So I want to reintroduce the 450-seat possibility. I just don't believe building out the house is that much more expensive. Large part of the theater expenses are the stage and all of its technology. 30 seconds. Okay. There's lots of things we want in the old building to make sure it functions for us. There's some problems with it right now. They have to do with roof leakage, but we also want to make sure that it works for us and you don't just abandon repairs because you're getting a new building. In conclusion, I want to thank you so much. We wanted to thank you so much for moving forward. However, as it seems now, you have gone back to, we don't know. A new building at Mountain View, a renovated building at Mountain View, a new building at Lakeview. Seems like you're back to almost to where you started. And that's, to me, not speaking for the board, troubling. But thank you for trying to move this project forward. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Swenson?
Director Fast.
Yeah, you had written on behalf of the board.
Right.
To the board. In my view, one of the most poignant, clear, and concise comments. I would just ask that we consider publishing that on the web with all the documents. Would that be acceptable?
I've not read that. We can certainly look into that.
You'll look into it. Thank you very much.
Well, as an alternative, perhaps the manager could take his little golf cart around and deliver it to each home.
Oh, come on.
Just a suggestion.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tom.
Christy Swedson.
Hi, 137489, I think. I don't know for sure. I'm back, and I'm still harping about the same thing I was talking about way back when, was parking. Parking is going to be a nightmare if we do the playhouse up at Mountain View. And that is not a threat, that's kind of a promise. If the players get their way, that place is going to be packed all the time. And I just fear that there's going to be just a traffic nightmare and a parking nightmare around there too. And that's all I have to say about that, and it's good to be back. Take care, you guys. Thank you for all you're doing. Way to go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dave Clausen.
Good morning. Dave Clausen, 154961. Pleasure to be here again, representing tenants and interests of Sun City residents as well. I wanted to say a couple of things. First of all, again, it's great for your service. I appreciate all the service, every one of you, and all that you do. I know it's not easy. I liked the presentation of the management report. I liked logic and reasoning, and I think that there's a lot of logic and reasoning going here. I spoke to data-driven. We had at the SAC committee, we started with this mantra of data-driven, and we had to gather, and in fact, it was wonderful to gather information because it's important to know the data. But I want to emphasize again that data can be misused and misleading, and that we have to have logic and reasoning along with the data. And if it comes to a vote of the members, then that's maybe what it needs to be. So that's what I would like to say about that. I like that. I got extra few seconds. Thank you. Well, the amended motion to move forward with the elements included, as I understood, or renovate, and that was key. I really applaud that part. Without it, all I saw was that we have given up tennis courts at the Marinette to have that wonderful Marinette pickleball facility. We've given up 2 of the courts at Mountain View already, and we intentionally, because of the pickleball resurgence in the country and in Sun City, we gave up the other 2. But our intent and thought was that Lakeview would be available for a renovation of the Lakeview courts, and we really think that that's important to have more than one spot. Because if Mountain View goes away, if Lakeview goes away, we've already given up Marinette, we will have only one tennis center. Now we've got golf courses everywhere, we've got swimming pools everywhere, we've got other amenities everywhere. And that's really important. I live on the south side in Phase 1, and when I made the comment that it took me 15 minutes to drive up to Bell Center to play tennis every morning, I got, oh, poor boy. And so when I hear that argument that it's tough to come down to Mountain View to a theater, I go, poor boy, poor girl. I mean, honestly, it's been there forever. There's one woman in the SAC that wanted to keep Mountain View because it's historical. Now, to me, I don't think that the Mountain View building is particularly historically aesthetic, and we were going to renovate it so it's a wow. Now, I really support that, and I support playing for fun, exercise, and friendship. Thank you.
Thank you.
Lori Ellingson.
Lori Ellingson, 13335. Good morning, Director Collins, Director Richmeyer, Director Fast, Secretary Totten, President Fimmel, Vice President McAdam, Treasurer Borski, and Director Keiss, and Director Ruff. I am very grateful for your hard work. Myself and the members of the tennis club sincerely appreciate your contributions to our community by serving on the RCSC board. There are many social and health benefits of tennis, as well as numerous ways to modify the game to accommodate all fitness levels, all age levels, and all skill levels, so that everyone benefits from the tennis club's motto of playing for fun, exercise, and friendship. As a board member of the Sun City Tennis Club, myself, along with the other board members, would like to request a special meeting with the RCSC board to present these facts, statistics, photos, and other documentation that supports the need to have more than just one facility for tennis here in Sun City. It is our hope to educate, communicate, and inform the new RCSC board of the various forms of tennis that would benefit a greater percentage of our population here in Sun City. By adding pop tennis and various other forms of drills, leagues, ladders, and social play to the tennis club, there would be a significant increase in the number of player participation, thus the need to keep some courts either at Mountain View or Lakeview. Since there are many key points that support our position, the tennis board is respectfully asking for a special meeting where we can present our proposal to the board in a clear and concise manner. I am including a PDF file that I emailed to everyone this morning of the most recent stats on tennis and other racket sports here in the Northwest Valley. These statistics, along with the other reports and files, support our need to maintain and refurbish a few of the existing tennis courts. At this special meeting, the tennis club will present the highlights and the bullet points in a clear and simple manner so that each of you can look at the information from a strategic, long-term perspective. Myself and the members of the tennis club sincerely appreciate your contributions to our community and look forward to confirming a date and a time that we can meet. Once again, thank you for your time, and please know how grateful we are for your hard work and how much we appreciate each of you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Veronica French.
Good morning. I'm Esther Veronica French, number 127979. I had no idea what I was signing up for. Lori said this is where you sign, but I just do want to say, after hearing everything, every time there is a tennis open, so many young people get interested in tennis. They join their high schools, their colleges, and guess what? You know, their models are Coco Graf, Carlos Alcazar. There are so many young tennis players out there influencing these young kids, and guess what? These kids are going to retire someday, and Sun City is a huge retirement community. So we need to preserve our tennis courts. Nobody plays at Lakeview because they're so cracked and they need to be resurfaced. So just keep the future in mind for these young and up-and-coming tennis players. And I thank you as a volunteer myself. I thank you for your time. President Vamel, thank you for letting me speak.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sherry Marcio. Huh? She probably knew she was after her.
Sherry Marcio, 14465. I support your amended motion this morning. I have no ties to pickleball or to the theater. I've done a lot of listening over the last year and a half, 2 years, and I think this has been a great experience, exercise to strengthen our self-governance. And there's been tremendous participation, but I think we've also uncovered a lot of opportunities to improve, particularly with the process. And that's what you've identified in saying now is the time to present this element list, get expert opinion, and get some design input. So you're at the right place, it's the right time. I applaud all the information you waded through and you've listened to and dissected, but please carry forward in the spirit of our vision and mission and do it with urgency. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jeannie Christie. No?
No, I waived that right, sorry.
Okay. Pete Lenchek.
Yeah, it's morning, isn't it? Yeah, morning. Good morning. Just a couple things, Annette. Number one, and I'm liking the fact, Annette, you did listen to one thing, Annette, going forward at the town hall meetings is let's move on something, Annette, and that is a positive. I have a couple comments as number one, as a resident of Sun City. I'm concerned about cost. The couple questions that I've got as far as cost goes is, number one, we're talking about taking the pack to Lakeview. Does that cost go under the Mountain View project, or does it go under the Lakeview project?
This is the Mountain View project. And Mr. Lecce, can I get your number, your member number?
108283.
Thank you.
The second deal is, it was mentioned that after the PAC moves to Lakeview, what happens to the building?
That's up for the architect to decide.
Excuse me?
Actually, once the current auditorium is no longer in use by the members, it will be the board at that time. We have had some discussions about what could go in there. Basketball could go in there. Volleyball could go in there. Badminton could go in there. That's going to be an open space for what's needed at the time that that space becomes available.
Okay, will that be part of the cost for the Mountain View project?
No, that will be from some later PIF, if it takes PIF funds, later PIF funds, or later capital funds, depending on the cost.
So what I heard too, Annette, in one of the meetings, and that was the fact that the building would be demolished and something else built. So the cost of that could be, we could be looking at another $5–10 million and that to do something there? So which would put this project somewhere in the $30 million range?
Well, this project, the Mountain View project, is this project. What will happen to the auditorium after the Mountain View project is completed will be up to the board that's available at that time, and they will have to make a decision about what funds they will expend to renovate that property, or if they choose to do something else at that time. That will be a different set of funding.
Yeah, I believe in that building should be part of this project. It is Mountain View, and that it is the part of the whole thing. We can debate that at a later time. One of the other things that I'm looking at too, Ned, is the amount of space in that the pickleball is picking up. There is no planning on capacity for the pickleball. How many courts are going to be using, when they're going to be using them, and the amount of time. I believe part of their problem is the fact that they do need to look at the fact of when they're playing and when they're not playing. They play in the mornings. I don't see them in the afternoons. I don't see them in the evenings. And they need to plan that part more. The golf community has a perfect reservation center, and that for doing something like that, that could be adopted, and then they don't need the amount of courts that they feel that they do need. And so that is one of the things in that they should be actually exploring before we throw millions of dollars at a pickleball center. The other thing too, Annette, is you were talking about all of the different facilities and people using the different stuff and contacting them for information. I have not yet been contacted as far as what my club wants or needs, which is also the Mountain View Fairway Club. All I've seen is a footnote stating that, well, we'll do something over here. And so what I'm looking for in that is a little bit of communication to the clubs directly. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Sir, what club are you from?
What club are you from? Lawnball.
Okay, Mountain Fairway Lawnball.
Vicki Miller.
Good morning still. Vicki Miller, 104197. And I have been a resident of Sun City since 2008, and I've been on a tennis member since right around that time, and I've also played pickleball too. So I, do both, more tennis, way more tennis. I've watched our area go from from 4 tennis areas down to 1. And if Mountain View is taken away and Lakeview is taken away, we'll be down to 1 center, and that's it. since I have been here and playing tennis all these years, never once has anything been done to the courts at Lakeview. You wonder why no one plays there. Have you guys personally gone there and seen those courts? I mean, it would be a lawsuit. So that is why it has been stated in the data that we haven't been using those courts. There's a reason for that. I spoke at the last meeting about another opening up and looking outside of the box, and I spoke about going to Union Hills Country Club so you could see their tennis courts, what they have there, and the parking lot that they have that is just terrible area. Have any of you guys gone there and looked at that to see what that area is like, to see if maybe that could be something that we could do for either pickleball or tennis? Instead of just taking tennis away, have we looked for any other answers? Have we gone anywhere else? Or even pickleball, it's right there near Marinette too. It wouldn't give them the spread, but it would certainly give tennis the spread, different areas to go. Palmbrook Country Club, also owned by the same gentleman that owned the Union Hills Country Club. And I mean, has anybody gone to talk to them? My other concern too is, you know, isn't the money come from the PIF? Is that what goes to renovate these new places and what we're doing with these? Okay, our PIF money, these people coming in or us selling, we've raised those rates recently, correct? And why? Is that so we can put covered areas over pickleball courts that could, you know, that's an outdoor sport? And
No, it's not, actually. Could you give us just a few seconds on the SIF and the new, what that funding is going to be used for, just briefly?
Director Fimmel, the PIF or the SIF? I can cover both.
She's saying that the SIF will be used for the renovation at Mountain View.
So the PIF funds that are collected, the $4,000 when a person purchases a home in Sun City, that is exclusively used for projects that cost more than $300,000 and have a useful life of 15 years or more. The SIF fee, the capital improvement fee, is for capital projects. So those are projects in excess of $5,000 and up to $300,000. So capital projects repairing parking lots, replacing HVAC units, things like that. So that SIF fee money is intended for projects that don't fit the PIF project criteria.
Yeah, no, I was referring to the PIF. Is that what goes to renovate and do it? We're going to be doing at Mountain View or any of the, like, whatever, yes, when we do these rec centers. Okay, but we have raised that fee. Okay, well, maybe they wouldn't.
No, we haven't.
So what is that fee for the PIF?
4,000.
It's 4,000, okay. I think it was like, wasn't it just, I think it was 3,000 when I moved here, and then 3,500, now it's 4. So it goes up, and we've got like 33 million in the budget, whatever. But I'm just saying, is that money being spent for everybody, or is a large part of that money going to be going for this Mountain View? And if we cover the pickleball courts, are you covering the mini golf? Are you covering the horseshoes? Are you going to cover the tennis? Are you going to cover the lawn bowling? Are you going to put a dome over the softball fields? We need to keep it fair for everybody. Outdoor sports are to be played outdoors. We play early in the mornings when the weather is hot. And if we renovate the auditorium at Mountain View, will the tennis courts then be renovated at Lakeview? That's all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vicki.
Norm Dixon.
After 28 years, I shouldn't have to give my number, but Norm Dixon, 2429. Been here a long time, volunteered for a lot of things in a long time. The alleged, oops. She's my caregiver. The alleged justification for this not-so-new presentation today is a result of member comments at the last meeting. Those member comments were overwhelming negative response to this new plan. The Strategic Alternatives Committee met for 7.5 months of weekly meetings, represented all of the affected member activities, held several meetings with a board of director architect, and created a very detailed, comprehensive plan which provided for 8 new pickleball courts, kept the pack at Mountain View, no member activities were eliminated, and the project stayed within the PIF funds. Sounds to me like a very reasonable recommendation. This board has chosen to ignore the obvious objectives of the Strategic Alternative Committees and apparently fold to the relentless pressure of the pickleball leaders, including a sitting director who has pushed her favorite activity, pickleball, over the interests of other member activities. Pickleball membership amounts to less than 2% of all the members of Sun City. That means that more than 98% will have to pay millions of their dollars to build a highly competitive pickleball facility for the 2% and their now resident guests, which amounted to 1,600 last time. Seems to me if you didn't have 1,600 guests, maybe you wouldn't have to stand in line in the mornings. Scottsdale, Glendale, Peoria, the combined or even individually is much larger than Sun City. Their combined plans to build pickleball courts in those communities is less than 12 pickleball courts. That was on the TV just recently. Our 2% has been asking for from 45 to 100 new courts. If that's not bad enough, the board of directors wants to propose to erect a windowless performing arts center building on irreplaceable, valuable lakefront property.
Mr. Dixon, your 3 minutes been timed.
I understand.
I would like to comment to what you just said, because the elements include a pack that is glass-fronted, which you say it is not, but the elements include that. And I would take the time, but if you look at the document that was created and done at the town center, town hall meetings, we could go through each of them, if you like. It discusses, actually, I want to do something else. You keep commenting about 2% of the members play pickleball. It's one of our larger clubs. The Lawn Bowl has how many members, Mr. Dixon?
About 300.
About 300. And pickleball has how many? 1,289?
1,200.
Okay. And when you look at the actual statistics, the statistics for pickleball is that it is one of the most popular sports, and it is constantly going up. This past week, they added 37 new members. Other sports here are not having this kind of increase. And so this should not be personal. This is about this community and about doing what is best for this community. What we're trying to do today is create the elements which actually represent, in truth and reality, the hard work that was done by the Strategic Alternatives Committee, and to get this into the hands of the architect engineer. This is not the end of the conversation about this process or this project. This is moving this project on to the next step. That's why we're here today, is to get this into the hands of an architect engineer so that we can have professional assistance in determining the final outcome of what this project will ultimately look like. Okay? So that's why we're here today.
I understand it, and I'll respond to that.
Okay.
You want to talk statistics. Lawn bowling is much smaller than pickleball. Pickleball has the highest number of people in an outdoor activity. The second highest outdoor activity is lawn bowling. And what your plan proposes is to reduce the facilities for the second highest outdoor activity in Sun City. And apparently that makes sense to you. In regards to another statistic that you're probably not aware of, in the last 2 years, we have let's just round off the numbers. We have 200 plus members. In the last 2 years, we have trained at 3 lessons each for each individual, over 200 new members. This present year, the numbers aren't final yet, but we've done over 60. Out of that, 74% of those people joined and are participating in lawn bowling. So what we're looking at is almost doubling our numbers, and not even pickleball can say they've done that.
Director Collins.
I would just like to say that in the heyday for pickleball, there was 6 locations. They had 1,500 members. Or lawn bowling. Lawn bowling had 1,500 members in their heyday, had 6 locations. They now have 5, and they're down to 300 members. So how you can sit there and say that they're doing better, it just doesn't jive with the numbers.
That you bring up another item that I was going to get to.
One moment, please. Excuse me. Please.
Can we just let the speaker present, and we'll take into consideration what he says?
If you take a look at the number of pickleball players and the number of pickleball players that are on the courts, subtract the 1,600 non-residents, and look at the number of lawn bowlers, and look at the number of activities, a number of people they put on the courts, the ratio is far in favor of the lawn bowlers. They are more active. And I understand that we have been noted as an active community, and that's what the board ought to be encouraging, not dealing with numbers that fade one way or another. And I'm just proving to you, you can take numbers and do a whole lot of things with them. And I don't have to have research to do that.
Norm, may I ask, where did you get 1,600 non-residents?
That was on the last count in 22. It's been available to you.
Is it non-residents or non-members?
Guests are non-residents. Now, I understand that you don't have to be a pickleball member in order to play on the pickleball courts. But I don't consider those as guests. They just have a right to go there. They're not guests. It's an RCSC facility.
Okay,
but anyway,
we're moving a little afield here. So,
but we're moving on the basis of discussion and exchange. And you have opened the door to the 3-minute limit by asking these questions. You did not put a limit on any other speaker, so I don't expect you're going to put a limit on me. Now, I still have a couple comments to make in relation to that.
Proceed.
It's not fair to the other members if you let him proceed when we had to stop them.
Noted, but that is not what Robert's Rules of Order say. Members, you have the right to protest and return the Mountain View project to one which gives pickleball a 30% increase in courts, eliminates no other member activities, keeps the pack at Mountain View. If you sit back and do nothing, pickleball will win. And we will never get the best center at Lakeview that we can have and have the best center in the valley. You sit back and do nothing, then this decision is going to create more problems down the line. Trust me, I've been where you sit, and I understand that. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Johnson?
William Brewer.
William Brewer, 152270. Good morning.
Good morning.
What a great day out there, isn't it? It's great to be looking down on the flowers. Anyway, I've got a couple things. I'm concerned. I'm not a tennis player. I've looked at the courts at Lakeview, and as far as I'm concerned, they're great. That's how much I know about tennis. But I do realize, and I'm here to support the tennis courts at Lakeview. I hate to see those go away because everything, including lawn bowling and pickleball and golf and bowling and every activity, there's more than one facility. And then here we're going to limit tennis to one facility. I don't think that's right. They're gracious enough to give 2 courts for pickleball at Mountain View. For gosh sakes, let's preserve those. And my proposal is, has anyone looked at Bell Center for the pack? Yes. In the area where they have the farmers market, I've gone, I've measured it, it all fits, and there's room to expand. It's a shovel-ready area, and then you can, well, you can put farmers market anywhere, but I mean, there's still room to put the farmers market there. And you can build a beautiful facility there that has area to expand if you want to. And also you can put in a lobby for the people that sit in their cars waiting for that bus to show up. You know, there's a lot of good things that can happen there. Anyway, that's my presentation on that. That's my, I see happen. I see can happen if it needs to be considered. I don't know what the anti would be for it, because you put this big building in front of that beautiful mountain at Lakeview. That bothers me. I love going up there. I go to every rec center. I do. I make it a point to go to every one of them. I enjoy this place. Anyway, beyond that now, what's important also is I went to the Welcome Center the other day trying to find maps of the rec centers, and I couldn't really find aerial map. But so I went to the Welcome Center, thought maybe they had them there. I was welcomed. They were all they want to know what activities I participated in, what I did. I wound up being a volunteer before I got out of there.
Good job.
So kudos to the Welcome Center. They're great people there. By the way, I got that job done too. Anyway, let's see, what else have I got here that I wanted to tell you about? Oh, well, as far as pickleball, I play pickleball. I'll admit I do play pickleball. I love the sport. And I'm going to hurry here. But I will tell you that I do know that pickleball is the fastest growing sport, not only in the nation, but in the world. Second only to flag football, if you can believe it. And I'm concerned it's going to go to a thing like golf. Look at how many golf courses we got. It's become professional sport, and the colleges are now taking it up. So I think pickleball is a thing of the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Madam President, everyone who signed up has spoken on this motion.
Thank you, Ms. Johnson. We have a request to take a quick recess of 5 minutes, very quick, please. Thank you. Now turn to the directors for any discussion on this motion. Are there any comments from the directors? Director Rickmeyer.
Okay, so I guess we want you to know that we listened to the people that talked at the special session last week. And all this is getting us a step closer to getting an architectural design team. It is not that we have put anything in stone, it's just giving them some elements. Are we completely happy with what we have? No, but we have to get to a starting point. I mean, if we had all the money in the world, God, we'd get a fly, we would have a beautiful place. I mean, we just don't have all the money in the world. So I just would like everybody to understand we are doing our best to move forward. We listen to all the comments. We're not trying to be asses. We're just trying to get us to the next step. Thank you.
Okay. Other director comments?
Yeah.
Director Fast.
As I understand Mr. Swenson's letter to us on behalf of the Players Club, you would like the first step in this process to be an architectural or civil review of the, and you can approach the microphone, of the Lakeview site to establish feasibility. Is that correct?
Yeah, and I failed to put anything. I failed to put that in writing in my speech. It was in my writing. The cart before the horse has been a big problem, and a civil engineer needs to look at the feasibility at Lakeview, and you have to once and for all have a civil engineer tell you whether that building, as you recommended, I believe at the last meeting,
yes, sir,
that civil engineer look at whether you can renovate or not. That's an easy call if you get a civil engineer to say that building is junk, which is kind of my opinion. But civil engineer. Structural. Yeah, I'm not an architect.
I know.
Very good. I just wanted to clarify that.
And the poor sack, people asked for that months and months and months and months ago, and that somehow got translated to Marlene, the architect, into her assessing only renovation. And that was a travesty.
Yes, okay, thank you.
Thank you.
That's my only comment.
Any other director comments?
Yes.
No. Secretary Totten.
Thank you. I'm stymied. I really am. I am pleased to see the representatives who were on the SAC all summer, who showed up at every town hall, who came to the special presentation, who have made your comments over and over and over. Don't get me wrong. But where are the rest of you? Where are you? If you don't play pickleball, or you don't have anything to do with the theater, can't you give us guidance? I don't understand. We say that we want decisions made on data, member input, and of course, the dollar has to figure in there. I think one thing that we realized early on, or I did anyway, was that we're landlocked. We don't have any other land available. We really don't need any more buildings. We can, I don't want to say barely, but affording the maintenance, the personnel, and the fact that we have that huge deferred dollar problem. the data that was gathered, I really can't say I have faith in it after hearing that some of the players of each sport don't sign in properly. I've heard other items about clubs where when clubs realize that they're not going to make or get good attendance figures, they call people up and tell them to come and swipe their card, or they swipe card. I mean, so I can't be positive about data here, which of course leads back to technology. I do fear that we're moving too fast, and I know you're going to laugh at that. The part about the too fast that I'm worried about is that perhaps some of my fellow board members call it a long-range plan or a strategic plan. I would like to think that it's also called a master plan for the entire community. Del Webb gave us what he gave us and then went off into the sunset to build Sun City West. And each year, things have gone by and centers were built, clubs were formed, other clubs were formed because the same club because people couldn't get along with some of the people in a club. And I just, that's what I just think we should have had better planning. So would have, should have, could have. And that's why I worry about both sites. We're possibly going to throw up a theater, performing arts center at Lakeview that we've never even discussed where it could be or what's going to take place at Lakeview in the next few years. And the same with Mountain View. We say we're going to possibly leave the building, but what should it be? And it is important for you to realize that what we're proposing are just elements. But I understand what Tom is saying about a site, what was it called?
Site assessment.
Site assessment or a...
Master plan.
No.
Site plan.
Site plan.
A site plan. I thought we were going to get that a long time ago. And I understand the general manager wanted elements, but how can we give elements if we're not positive they can go on either site? I know I sound confused, don't I? One thing I can say with certainty is with the numbers that I've heard about the budget, I don't feel that we in this community right now can afford an air-conditioned pickleball court. I'm just trying to think if, at this point, if there's anything else I can say with certainty. And there, I guess there, but that is one. The other thing is, and I know I've had people tell me that I shouldn't feel this way, but the Performing Arts Center has been promised for years. It's not their fault that other things crept in place of them. That was possibly some bad decisions on prior boards. So moving forward, if at all possible, I would like to somehow see the players get theirs first. And I don't know how that's going to happen. Thank you for your patience with me.
Madam President.
Director Collins.
Thank you. Well, I've been on this board for 3 years, and I've seen about the same amount of people over 3 years come in through the different changes that have been going through this. Out of 32,000 people, this is about the crowd. And some people are happy, some people aren't. But the most of the stuff comes from outside of this room, and what I hear from the residents is we're sick and tired of it. Do something. We don't want to sit here and go through it again and again and again. Put something on the table and get going on it, and let's get it done. And this plan here is going to give us the numbers that we need. I'm sorry, right now, pickleball, air-conditioned, is not on the list. I agree with the people out there. It's an outside sport, and you play it outside. You might have a solar shade on it, but not air-conditioned. And we can't afford that at this time anyway. That money was $10 million in the year 2033, which means PIF wouldn't even have the money for that. So we don't want to get too far into it thinking that we're doing this. And as far as the building, any building can be remodeled. If you want to put enough money in it, you can fix anything. Let's be realistic about that. We just want to know, is it realistic to fix it or to tear it down? And when this is over, if the players get their new building at Lakeville, they have a place to continue for the next couple of years while it's getting built. Then they move, then we decide, you know, you talk about pickleball being air conditioned. In I think it was 2015, they used that theater for enclosed air conditioning pickleball in the summer months. The first year it went over okay. The second year nobody wanted to use it, so we discontinued it. So it's already been tried once, and it wasn't a big, heavy ticket. People wanted to be outside. So that is all going to have to be looked at in the future. But let's just get something going forward and get it done. Thank you.
More comments from the directors? Seeing none, Secretary Totten, please take the roll call vote.
You're going to have the motion read again. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes. Director Kais, please read your motion as it was amended.
I move to approve the Mountain View Recreation Center and Performing Arts Center elements developed by the Board of Directors, and to direct the general manager to use the elements to seek bids to renovate the recreation center and to build or renovate a performing arts center.
Thank you. Secretary Totten, please take the roll call vote.
Thank you, President Kimmel. Vice President McAdam?
Yes.
Director Fast?
No.
Director Kais?
Yes.
Director Rickmeyer?
Yes.
Director Collins?
Yes.
Director Ruff?
Yes.
Director Borski?
Yes.
President Fimmel?
Yes.
And I vote yes. That's 8 yes, 1 no. Motion.
With a vote of 8-1, the motion passes its first reading. The next exchange meeting will be held on February 12th here at the Sundial Auditorium from 4 to 6 p.m. The next meeting of the Board of Directors will be held on February 29th, 9 a.m. here at Sundial. The annual meeting will be held on March 12th at 6 p.m. here at the Sundial Auditorium. There being no further business and without objection, this meeting will be adjourned. Have a great day, and please remember to turn back on your electronic devices.
Did you change the time?
This is a copyrighted production of the Recreation Centers of Sun City Incorporated and is intended for the sole purpose of informing our Recreation Center members. Any duplication, copying, transmission, broadcast, or use, including electronic and social media, is strictly prohibited without the prior written consent from the Recreation Centers of Sun City Incorporated. Thank you for watching.